We are starting with the audio test, Honor 200 versus Samsung Galaxy A56. Perfect audio test because we have a noisy background. So we have triple camera setup on both phones. We have telephoto 2.5x on Honor 200 and we have a macro sensor. That's the only difference. And we also have a new selfie camera on A56. I think this will be an epic battle of really good mid-range phones. Let the battle begin. On the widest field of view, Galaxy has a warmer white balance and creamier background blur, while Honor 200 has a smoother skin effect. Mind you that beautification is off. If we inspect the face, both of them has a lot of details, just a difference in colors. I think natural looking on Galaxy A56. Both phones also has great edge detection.
Ready for it, get ready.
On 2x, we have a stronger contrast on Honor 200. I don't like the colors of the hair and the jacket below the hands. Too dark for Honor 200, and we got better exposure and details on Galaxy A56. Might be too soft on A56 on low light condition, but again, natural looking colors, we got yellow bulb here, and if we have enough light, natural looking on A56 and a bit contrasty on Honor 200.
Flames going high.
Now on portrait zoom, we are considering more options on Honor 200 because of the 3x portrait zoom. We only have 1x and 2x on Samsung. So if you're big on the portrait zoom, then Honor 200 should be considered. Although if you look on the quality of 3x, it's not as sharp as 1x and 2x, but it's there when you need it. On selfie, same tendency as the rear cameras. We got natural looking skin tone and colors on Galaxy A56. You got a lot of details on the face and generally has better exposure. I think Galaxy A56 is the best selfie camera to date for the mid-range. So this is the video test starting with the selfie video recording 4K 30 FPS. Really have a solid camera phone battle today between Honor 200 and Samsung Galaxy A56. So Honor 200 is 50 megapixel sensor f2.1 while we have 12 megapixel sensor, only 12 megapixel, but this is a good sensor for A56. This is f2.2. We have HDR on Honor 200. We don't have this on Galaxy A56, but in terms of video quality, I like the details on Galaxy A56, while we have two focal length on Honor 200 1x and 0.8x. You have a brighter face on Honor 200, but you got natural looking tone on Galaxy A56. Now let's check the rear cameras. Now we're testing the rear camera starting with the ultra-wide lens in 4K 30 FPS. So both phones can only shoot UHD 30 FPS. In terms of sensors, we both have 12 megapixel on each of the phones. The only difference here is the focal length, 0.7x on Honor 200, which is a little bit punched in. And we have a wider 0.5 on Galaxy A56. In terms of video quality, which phone do you prefer in terms of their daylight condition? Now let's check the main sensor. Now we're testing the main sensor, again in 4K 30 FPS. This is both 50 megapixel sensor f2.0 on Honor 200 and f1.8 on Galaxy A56. In terms of camera technology, they have the same face detection, autofocus, and OIS. But in terms of video quality, a little bit brighter and smoother on Honor 200 and more detailed and stronger contrast on Galaxy A56. In terms of skin tone, I think you will have A56 as closer in reality compared to the blooming Honor 200. Which phone do you prefer in terms of main sensor? Now let's check the zoom. Now this is the battle of the zoom. So we have 2.5x optical on Honor 200. This is a 50 megapixel sensor, while we're only digitally cropping in on Galaxy A56 using the main sensor. So I guess in terms of the video performance from the selfie, ultra wide, main sensor, and the zoom, which phone do you prefer? On our image quality test, you would see that A56 is warmer than Honor 200. We set Honor to natural in terms of filters. The Honor phone is closer in real life in terms of colors. Samsung might be a tad brighter and contrasty than the competition. On this image, you will see more colors popping out on Galaxy, which is nice, and Honor 200 crushes the shadows while Samsung is better exposed. Honor 200 aggressively switches to macro, but if you use the main sensor instead, you might get blurry photos sometimes, but if you get the right distance, then both of them has really detailed images. We got ultra-wide and main sensor on both phones, but only Honor 200's optical zoom. We also have the macro sensor on Honor 200 that cancels the macro lens of Galaxy A56. Honor slow motion test, both phones has full HD resolution, but you can switch between two focal lengths on Honor 200. We have cinematic or portrait video on Honor 200, although 1080p 30 FPS still compared to Galaxy A56. We have a cinematic video on Honor 200. Now let's check the video stabilization. Now we're testing the stabilization and outdoor shot on Galaxy A56 and Honor 200. So in terms of video performance on the selfie, we have 4K on both phones. Normally mid-range phones only has 1080p, but both phones are really good. They have 4K 30 FPS on the selfie camera. We also have a difference in skin tone, warmer on Samsung Galaxy A56 and cooler on Honor 200. Although Honor 200 is not known for selfie shooter, but still holding up really well with Galaxy A56. And looking at the colors, I can give you blue sky because it's winter today in Canada. But you have a cloudy sky and colors on the building. You have stronger colors on Galaxy A56 and natural looking on Honor 200. Let's check video stabilization really quick. Alright, let's check the rear cameras. Now checking the rear cameras again, 4K 30 FPS. So we have a difference of field of view on the ultra wide. We got a wider 0.5 on A56 and a little bit punched in 0.7 on Honor 200. Looking at the colors on that building and the roads, a bit warmer on Honor 200 and cooler on Galaxy A56. Let's check video stabilization. Now shooting with the main sensor. So looking at the colors, again brighter on Honor 200 and you have better contrast on Galaxy A56. Look at the details, both 50 megapixel sensor, almost the same look, but you have better background blur on A55 here, or sorry, A56. Really good performance on the Galaxy phone. Now let's check the stabilization. We also have 3x using the 2.5 telephoto zoom on Honor 200, and we can only do digital zoom on Galaxy A56. In terms of the farthest zoom, we have 10x on A56 and also 10x on Honor 200, but in terms of quality, you have better quality on Honor 200. Looking at that guy and switching back to the ultra wide lens. Look at the color of my skin. Which phone do you think is better? On night shots, Honor 200 sometimes hunts for focus. Like on this shot, background is focused, which shouldn't be the case. If this phone is able to focus on the subject, you would see it's natural looking and darker than the Galaxy. While Samsung is brighter, warmer, but just a bit noisier than the Honor competition. On pitch black condition or darker situation, Galaxy A56 crushes the competition in terms of exposure, sharpness, and details. Although Honor 200 has less noise and maybe provides more natural looking low light condition if you think about it. Alright, for my personal verdict on all sensors, I would give Galaxy A56 the win for the ultra-wide main and even the digital crop. Alright, it is the low light video recording test using the selfie camera 4K 30 FPS. There's no 60 FPS on both of these mid-range phones, Honor 200 and Samsung Galaxy A56. On Honor 200, we have two focal length, 1x and 0.8x. So this is a 50 megapixel sensor, f2.1, while we have 12 megapixel sensor, only 12 megapixel sensor, f2.2, or rather f2.1, let me check. So 50 megapixel f2.1 on Honor 200 and 12 megapixel f2.2 on Samsung Galaxy A56. In terms of video quality, I think we have a new winner in terms of selfie video recording for the mid-range phones. Galaxy A56 is really good. I should say that the details, the colors, the sharpness goes to A56. Galaxy A56 is better than Honor 200 on selfie video recording, low light video. Now we're testing the rear camera, starting with the ultra wide lens, so 0.7x on Honor 200 and a wider 0.5 on Samsung Galaxy A56. In terms of specification, we have 12 megapixel sensor of each of the phones. We have 12 megapixel f2.2 with autofocus on Honor 200, and we have 12 megapixel f2.2 with 1/3.06 sensor on Galaxy A56. In terms of video quality, better exposed but noisier on Honor 200, and you have better contrast but darker on Galaxy A56. I think this will boil down to personal choice. Now let's check the main sensor. Now we're testing the main sensor of both phones. So this is a 50 megapixel sensor. The only difference is the f-stop. We have 2.0 on Honor 200 and f1.8 on Samsung Galaxy A56. Same sensor size, 1/1.56. We're shooting in UHD 30 FPS. I know Honor 200 is strong following and fans, so probably they will say that Honor 200 is better than Galaxy A56. But checking the video quality of both phones, we have a brighter video on Honor 200 and better contrast on Galaxy A56. Again, a matter of personal choice. Which phone do you think is better? And lastly, we're testing the zoom. I think it's a little bit darker here, so we're opening the lights. Again, this is in 4K 30 FPS. So the difference here is we have a 50 megapixel telephoto on Honor 200, and we're only cropping in on the 50 megapixel main sensor of Samsung Galaxy A56. So in terms of video quality from the selfie, main sensor, ultra wide, and zoom, which phone do you think is better? Now let's check the video resolution. In terms of video resolution, you have 4K 30 FPS on Honor 200. And this is Samsung Galaxy A56, also capped at 4K 30 FPS. I think that's it for the comparison video of these two mid-range phones. Which phone do you think is better, Honor 200 or Galaxy A56? Leave your comment down below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.